Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, please do like, subscribe, drop me a like, subscribe and do the right thing. Like, subscribe. Most of the people who watch these things are not subscribers. I wonder, guys, how can you sit here and watch for the next 1 hour and still not subscribe? Please do subscribe. Please do like, do subscribe, so that we keep the things going. We keep it moving. We keep it going. So remember, I'm not going to be sharing with you the Telegram Unisa study guide. I got it on Telegram. It's on Telegram. You can find it 2021 AUE, and you can use that to follow what I'll be doing. And okay, Felix, I'm using a newer model of a study guide. Is it a problem? It's not a problem when it comes to auditing, because remember, auditing, usually they change. They only change one word and they present a new standard. They only change one word and they present a new standard. They're not going to be changing a lot of things. So at this level, even if you're going to be coming across this video in 2024, 2026, 2028, whenever, the things that I'm going to be saying are still going to be relevant for auditors. They are still going to be relevant for auditors and internal auditing purposes. So you just have to understand that auditing is not that dynamic. No, it's not dynamic. We're not going to be coming across a new formula of testing. We're still going to be testing the way we used to test when they started to come across with the standards. So there's something that you have to understand, that I really need you to understand, that you are there to give an opinion. Okay, so there's a part that I didn't talk about, guys. Please do forgive me. I didn't talk about this part, and I'm just going to put it out there. What are you doing there as an external auditor? Okay, what are you doing there? I remember I did the whole diagram. We did the whole diagram together in the previous one, but we didn't also get deep into what are you doing there. And it's an important question that you have to understand. What are you going to be doing there? What are you at the company for? Basically, that's what I mean. So you are at the company so that you can give an opinion. Okay, so you are there, you've been given a contract and wara, but your duty there is to eventually give an opinion, right? You have to give an opinion. You're not there to make friends. You're not there to find love. You're not there to find anything. You are there to give an opinion. Remember, there were threats and everything that we're reading about and stuff. All those things that they were talking about. The whole point of you being there is to give an opinion about financial statements. Please keep that in mind, because it's going to be something that you have to deal with, and you might have to bear in mind with me regarding auditing. You are there to give an opinion. You are there to give an opinion, guys. You are always going to be there to give an opinion. So you can't just create an opinion out of thin air, right? Let's say you get to the place, the receptionist doesn't talk to you, the receptionist doesn't greet you, or you're shown attitude by the security guard, and you're shoved around by management and all of that. Other people who are trying to also assess why you are there, and the coffee that they serve you is cold. You are not really treated the way you feel like you should be treated. You don't give an opinion based off that, right? The opinion that you're going to be giving, that opinion is supposed to be based on evidence, right? So you have to give an opinion, but that opinion has to be backed by evidence. You can't just say the financial statements are not all right, and we have to come back and ask you, okay, why are you saying they are not all right? Then you now have to go further and say, okay, because of this evidence that I have come across, the financial statements that you produced, they are not 100%, or they are not up to the standard that you would have wanted or that you would have expected them to be. So the evidence is what is going to be leading you to the audit opinion that you're eventually going to come up with, right? The evidence that you're gonna be using is the evidence that's gonna be available to you is the one that you have to use to come to an audit opinion. It's not going to be the way you're treated. It's not going to be because of the racial biases there. It's not going to be, let's say, because the organization favors a certain political party. You're not going to penalize them in your audit opinion because of that. You have to be professional and create an audit opinion which is based on evidence. And the evidence that you're going to have is going to be based on three things. So for you to have what do you call it? It's two things actually. For you to actually come to a proper conclusion, the evidence that you're going to need, or the evidence that you're going to use, has to be sufficient. That's the first word, right? Sufficient, it just simply means it's enough. I know they defined sufficient for you, but for you to just understand sufficient simply means the audit evidence that you're going to use is enough, right? It's adequate, or it's enough, right? And appropriate, it just is also just talks about that the audit evidence that you're going to use is also going to be relevant, and is also going to be related or relatable to the to the things that, or the areas of what do you call it, areas of audit. So you are going to use this evidence, right? This evidence, which is going to be sufficient and appropriate. Sufficient, it's enough. Appropriate is the quality, right? Is it quality information? You're not going to be going through each and every page of let's say the cash book. What if they have 1,000 transactions? You see, so your audit evidence has to be evidence of quality. So if the audit evidence is evidence of quality, it is going to help you, and it is going to assist you in coming up to a proper conclusion of what's happening there, right? It's going to help you to come up to a proper conclusion of what's happening there, meaning the evidence that you're going to gather has to be reliable. At the same time, it also has to be relevant. So what is examples of this audit evidence? You can find evidence in form of invoices, right? You can find evidence in form of what do you call it? You can find evidence in form of bank statements. You can find evidence in form of pay slips. You can find evidence in the payroll and stuff. So you have to be looking at source documents mainly. Source documents are gonna be your biggest source of evidence. Your evidence is going to be found in your source documents. Source documents, you're going to come across it in FAC. Source documents simply means that's where they have the evidence that the transaction has taken place. So you're going to be finding evidence. You need to use that evidence for your audit. Anything that you're going to use, which you're going to find in an entity, which is going to help you draw a conclusion. That is what is called audit evidence. So you're going to use that evidence to come to a reasonable conclusion on what is going on the financial statements. Your financial opinion is not your audit opinion, or your opinion is not going to be baseless. So it's almost like it's a build-up. You are coming to a company, you are coming to an organization. You are not part of the organization. You're an external party. Because you're an external party, you're not part of the what was generated, the financial statements that are being asserted by directors and those charged with governance. Because you are not a part of that, you then have to give an opinion on those statements. And someone is going to act, someone is going to invest, someone is going to join that company, someone is going to make a decision based on your opinion of those financial statements. So that opinion of yours is very valid. That opinion of yours is going to be very relevant. But that opinion that you're going to give is not going to also be a baseless opinion. You now have to get into the company and start looking for audit evidence. Audit evidence, we are talking about evidence that transactions occurred. You can find that transaction, that evidence in form of source documents. You can find that evidence in form of consulting, talking to people, inquiry. You can find that evidence in form of probably experiencing, like being there at a stock count. A whole lot of things can assist you to also obtain the audit evidence that is going to be required for you to formulate a proper opinion. So when you get to that part, when you get the evidence has to be sufficient. Yes, it has to be enough. Appropriate, it has to be evidence of quality, so that you don't spend a lot of time going through things that are not really going to be helpful. So it's going to be sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. So when you use the sufficient, appropriate audit evidence, then you can then come up with a conclusion of what is going on the financial statements. So it's a really a nice part that you have to go through. Also, they're talking about how do you get this audit evidence. You're going to get this audit evidence through test of control. You're going to get this audit evidence through substantive procedures, but I'm going to be explaining them to you later on as we proceed. Remember to like, subscribe, and thank you so much.